Hello, in this video we will look at planning our backyard scene. So I have GIMP open up over here. GIMP is a free open source photo editing software, sort of like the open source version of Photoshop. Go to gimp.org and simply just press download and it should download to your computer. It should be a straightforward download process. Nothing should be too difficult. If you could download via BitTorrent, or you could download it directly. So assuming you now have GIMP installed, let's go ahead and create a blank canvas for us to work with. So go to File, New, and let's create the resolution for our image. So I'm going to choose 1920 width by 1080 height. It doesn't have to be perfect, it's just sort of to help us. This isn't the full size, it's at 66%. If I use full size, it will show like too much of it. I don't want to see that. I'm quite happy with 66%. This is just going to be a sketch. It doesn't have to be a perfect drawing of how we want to create our backyard scene. So let's go ahead and sketch out how we want our backyard scene to look like. So I want to use, let's say, this brush. Oh, by the way, I'm using a Wacom Bamboo pen and touch tablet. It actually makes drawing on your computer far easier compared to drawing using your mouse. If you try to draw anything using your mouse in Photoshop or GIMP or whatever, you would have found it quite painful. There are more powerful Wacom pen and touch tablets out there. Some of them allow you to draw on the actual screen directly, which is very easy, but those ones cost thousands of dollars. But I'm quite happy with the cheaper, lighter version because I don't do that much drawing. That's another thing that I want to mention. You don't need to be a great drawer to do great CGI renderings. I'm not a great drawer by any means. It helps. It helps if you can draw well, but it's not 100% necessary. So I'm now using my pen and I'm going to go ahead and select the brush and let's just color that out. Ooh, I don't want, might be too thick, so I'm probably going to turn down the size of this to, let's just say 10. Let's see how that, yeah, okay, that should be enough. So now let's go ahead and sketch out our backyard scene. So basically I want my backyard scene to be like a simple backyard. It will just, you know, have a fence on the side. So I'm just imagining as if how I'm looking at the camera right now. So this will be our little backyard, and this is the fence. Oh wow, even with a Wacom Bamboo pen and touch, my drawing skills aren't that great. Anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay. So I have my fence here. Then I plan to have flowers and plants on the side over here. So there's maybe some flowers here. Not the best drawings in the world. Okay, and then I want to have a little walkway on the side like this. And that leads to a little area for the clothes hanger. So something like that. Yep, it isn't the best drawing, but it's just a sketch. So we're going to have something like that. This is just a first idea. I might revise it a little bit later on. And the rest of it will be a grass. And then over here, just towards the end of our scene, we're going to have a little porch over here, a wooden deck. So the fence, the fence continues on. Like that, and we'll have our wooden porch like that. Oh, it is actually quite hard to draw straight lines with this. Okay, maybe something I need to set up properly on the bamboo pen. I don't use it that regularly, this pen and touch tablet, but it is quite useful for quick sketches. So something like that. That'll be my backyard. But apart from that, I want to make the scene a little bit more interesting by having trees in the background. So the trees here from the back, yeah, from the neighbors, also from the back neighbors. I just want to cover up fully because I don't want to model the backyard neighbor's house, so I don't want to see that. So cover it, and then maybe one bushy shrub here and a little bit here, and I'd be happy with that. I'd pretty much call that my backyard scene. Horrible drawing, isn't it? Oh, those lines look straight. All right, so that's basically one version of my backyard. Just to make it a bit more interesting, we might add a tree here as well. So this is in real time. This is my first draft of my backyard scene. So this is the brainstorm of our first design. So now let's go and plan the architect side of things. So I'm just going to go ahead and create a new layer and maybe create a white and then just hide this background, even though we can't see it anyway, but nevertheless. For this one, I'm going to sort of maybe create a line for this one. So to draw a line in GIMP, all you have to do is just touch any point. So that's point A, and then find where you want to put point B, then press Shift, and then just touch it. Do that again, so start here, or I'll just start over here. Shift, touch there, Shift, touch here, Shift, put it here, and Shift, end it there. So that's the aerial view of our backyard. So we'll have our front porch, there, and then this will be our front porch. Here will be the area where we'll have the plants. And so these are areas for the plants. So okay, and then from here I might just add a little walkway, maybe stick it with the plants and make it squarer, I don't know, and then put the clothes hanger here like that. And yeah, we'll have the trees around here, and we want to have another tree over here. So if you're not familiar with GIMP, to export these images, all you have to do is go File, Export As, and go to your system and save it as an image. Just a final thing before you end off, I'm now going to Blender, and I'm going to use Blender to plan out our scene. So let's just delete everything in our scene by pressing A maybe twice, and then X, delete. Now I want to go to the top view by pressing 7 on the numpad, and then pressing 5 to be on orthogonal view, which is a more accurate view. I want to go ahead and change to the scene, the scene tab of the properties window, and then I want to change the unit to be in meters. That's the real world metric system. One of the keys of realistic rendering is you need to get the scale correct. Many times it's always better to rely on real world scale rather than what you think the scale should be. This is something that Andrew Price has mentioned in one of his photorealism videos. We tend to think that we know the scale, like it's intuitive to us. When we see an object, we know how big it should be, but most of the time we don't. We always get it wrong. Our eyes are just not that accurate. So it's always better to rely on real world measurements, because when you actually create it, you might realize, oh, that's not big enough, or that might be too big. But then when you see it rendered, you realize, oh wow, that was actually correct. So it's better to go off a real world scale. All you have to do is just go to Google and type in, say, average garden size. And now Google will tell you that the average size of a home garden is 600 square feet, which is 30 by 20 feet. 30 feet is about 9 meters, and 20 feet is about 6 meters. So we will have to create, so you can create a scene that is 9 meters by 6 meters. To do so, I'm going to use the grease pencil and then enable continuous drawing. So this allows us to sketch on Blender instead of using GIMP. But one of the benefits of using Blender rather than GIMP is you can get real world coordinates. You can get the actual measurement, the actual sizes and things like that. So I'm going to press line, and let's just start somewhere random here. And I want to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 meters length. Oops. And 6 meters wide. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So there you go. That is the average size of a garden. Where I live, 6 meters width is actually quite small. Maybe this is the size of a London-based backyard. From where I live, we tend to have the width to be around 12 meters. So 3, 6, 9, 12. So I'll probably go with 12 meters for my one. And our kind of length usually goes around 15 or so meters. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. So I might stick with that kind of measurement. Gives us a lot of room to play with our backyard. So let's go ahead and stick that there and that there. Okay, so we now have the accurate dimensions of how large our backyard should be. Next, we want to know how high our backyard should be. So let's now have a look at the average size of a fence. The average height of a fence. Okay, around 3 feet. Backyard fences are 6 and 8 feet. So 7 feet is about 2.1 meters. All right, let's go ahead and 2.1 meters. So let's add a line, and just click 1, 2, and maybe a bit like that. Okay, I'm probably not going to draw everything else. We've already done the sketches and things like that for that. This is just to outline the dimensions so that we have a realistic, real world scale of our backyard, so that it doesn't look too big or too small when we get to finally rendering it. We might also throw in the height of a tree. So I might just draw up 12 meters around here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So that's the maximum height of a tree that we're going to use. Might even put it a bit smaller than that because it might actually be too large for our backyard scene. But that's the dead maximum I will go for the tree. Okay, so we now have the accurate scale and measurements of how we're going to create our backyard scene. The next step is to finally start creating our assets for the backyard. So I hope to see you for that video. Thank you.